Oh, sure, you could go to a grocery store or a liquor store and buy beer, or go to a tavern and let the big breweries take care of it for you. Or you could make your own beer. That's what these knuckleheads are doing on this installment of Brewed. So, Kurt, that bandana on your head leads me to believe that either you're here to lay cable for a Who concert, or you're in charge of what's going on here with the Mugs Festival. What is going on here exactly?
Well, Big Brew Day.
Big Brew Day,
Right.
which I have to admit was not on my calendar. This is something that needs to be on our calendars.
Absolutely.
You know the way I live my life, Kurt, every day is Big Brew Day, but
The American Homebrew Association. I'd say how many years? I don't know how many years we've done it, but
let's say 50.
Okay. Well, no, it's not 50, but
They're not going to fact check us. It's a beer TV show. We're fine.
so every year, Big Brew Day across the world now, not just the nation, the world now. Everybody comes out on this day, and they bring all their equipment out, which is a huge pain in the butt. But it's for the love of the game. It's to get everybody, to show everybody this is what we do in our garage every weekend.
This looks like, a lot of fun having all this equipment here and setting it up. I imagine it's a lot of fun. And hanging out in the brotherhood of home brewers, I bet is a lot of fun. I have to imagine, though, Kurt, after having a couple of beers all day, putting this stuff away in the van's got to be a pain.
It gets messy.
Yeah. Right? How do you handle that?
Well, usually Sunday's the cleanup day.
Right. So wait, we're gonna be here till tomorrow morning?
No. Everything will get piled in, and then
You clean it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I understand. That's really the hallmark of any successful party is you wait until Sunday morning to clean up.
Yes.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to walk around these mugs, folks, and look at their contraptions and see what secrets they're willing to share with us. They're probably going to share more secrets the longer we're here because, right, you dig it. I don't know if you can see this behind me, but it's ticking, and it sounds like it's about to blow.
We're brewing a Russian Imperial Stout today.
Russian Imperial Stout. Describe that.
It's going to be dark and probably 8 to 9%. Really heavy, probably kind of syrupy, maybe a little roasty notes and everything like that. So we start here with the hot liquor tank. Mm-hmm. This is hot water, and then we move to the mash tun, which we're mashed in right now, as you can see how dark that is.
Boy, does that smell good.
And
they need to make a Yankee Candle that smells like your mash tank. That's fantastic.
I'd buy that.
Right?
Yeah, I'd buy that.
the hell out of that. That's fantastic. Yeah. And then after the mash tank, you've got
then the boil kettle, and that'll take about 90 minutes there, and a couple other things in between, and yeah, it's about 4 or 5 hours.
This looks dangerous, and it's got the potential to do some real harm.
Yeah, in about a month, it's going to do some harm, when the beer's ready.
All right, so Jason, what are you working on here?
So I'm brewing kind of the daddy of them all. It'd be an American Pale Ale today. I'm going a little bit on the light side, hopefully around 4.5 to 5%. It's an all-grain brewing setup, so we start with the hot liquor tank, move to the mash tun, and then over to a boil kettle. We're going to chill it and then throw it into fermenter like this guy right here.
Sure.
And in about a month, we'll have a tasty product.
Now, we're all going to sit here for a month. Is that the plan, or?
Oh, you didn't know that?
Is this becoming like a happening? We're all going to stay here? Is this like a Occupy beer movement that we're starting?
Yeah, I don't know that the businesses adjacent really knew that was coming, but yeah, that's the plan.
You're making something that looks and smells wonderful. What is this?
So it's an American sour red ale. So it's going to have kind of like a Belgian character to it, but we're using American yeast. We're going to split up 2 ways. Got a 5-gallon batch for me, a 5-gallon batch for Nate. And we're going to use different American yeast to kind of funk it up. And then you take kind of the bottom, the dregs of some sour beers that you buy at the store. You add that in there too to add a little bit more funk.
Being a sour, I have to ask you a question. I've heard that with sours, if you don't know what you're doing, it can ruin everything.
So the sour yeast really take over, and so any like soft plastics you have get basically infected, which if you're making more sour beer, it's great because you can just use that plastic to reinfect it. But you have to buy separate equipment if you want to make other beers like a normal pale ale.
I got a buddy that tried a sour, and his credit went like in the toilet, and like his house started falling in on himself. His wife left him. I've heard if you don't know what you're doing with the sours, you're in for a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's either that or win the lottery.
Or win the lottery, which I guess is as good a plan as any. Why make it yourself?
So I make 5 gallons of beer, and my friends and I can enjoy this beer. And it might be something that no brewery can ever make because they invest a lot of money into the beer. And I invest $40, $50 into a batch of beer that's 5 gallons. And I could make the craziest thing that no brewery would make.
I have to imagine naming these things is half the fun.
Yes. A friend of mine and we brewed a beer, and it was called Candied Unicorn Farts. And it was a Belgian pale ale.
See, there's a reason you're not going to find that on store shelves. This beer that you're going to make, does it have a clever name? What's the brand name? Obviously, you can't sell it because you're a hobbyist.
Right.
But if you were to put it on store shelves, what would you call it?
I'm thinking about calling this one Spider Rico.
Spider Rico.
Yeah, my kid's a Rocky fan, so like he fights Spider Rico in the very beginning of the first movie. Just because in the mash tun when I started this morning, there was a spider that kind of came through, so I had to kind of fish him out of there. So, instant inspiration for the name of the beer.
And at your house, what are you working on right now?
Well, I just got finished with 10 gallons of Saison.
Ooh.
So I have some on tap here.
Yes, we will. All right. What are you drinking right now? Obviously, it's not this stuff.
You know what? I just tossed it in the trash, but it's a brown ale. Came from a can. Don't tell anybody else that
It's
here.
our secret. No one's going to see this. It's on late at night. You're fine. You're fine. The reason that Homebrewer Day is today is because today is when Jimmy Carter passed a law.
That's right.
Because it used to be you couldn't brew beer in your house.
Well,
in our lifetime.
Well, in our lifetime, yes.
Right.
Prohibition screwed up everything, right?
Right,
So,
right.
So post-prohibition, Jimmy Carter finally passed the law where we can change the law where we
So
can.
this is like 1970. I promise you, Kurt, the questions are only going to get harder. 77, 78, let's say?
Somewhere in there, yes.
All right,
It
so-
was before I was born, so.
Okay, well, I would have been around, but I wasn't that big of a beer drinker in 77, 78, although I'm not going to lie to you. I had some. You got a toast to get to, so I won't keep you any longer. You're going to toast the memory of Jimmy Carter. We're here celebrating a Jimmy Carter law. There aren't enough parties celebrating Jimmy Carter accomplishments.
I agree.
I'll keep it short and sweet, but here's to all of you and all of the friendships I've got because of homebrewing. Cheers. Cheers.
How much of this hobby of home brewing, how much of it is collaborative? It used to be it would just be you would have one weird friend who would do this in his basement and he would serve you something every couple of months. But now it seems like more and more, especially with things like mugs, where the nature of the game for you guys is getting together and working as a team, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of collaboration in brewing. I mean, you get your kind of your how you want to brew and how you want to produce the brew from other people, and you see people like Jason or you see people like Bryce or other people around, and you kind of see how they go about doing their thing, and that's kind of what you mimic yours, and that's how I think I kind of got into this entire situation.
Kurt, keep up the great job. Great work with mugs. It's important work you're doing, and I'll tell you what, they've never had a more informed president than our guy Kurt. I can show you some tapes. It's seriously, Kurt is the man. I kid, but he's the man. Keep up the good work. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Coming up on Brewed, a classroom with kegs outside. Sounds like fun. And meet the QC Ale girl who's trying to steal my job.